Welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest challenges for pretty much any business online. How do you turn that first little spark of interest, that initial click, into a real, valuable conversation? Let's break down how this huge problem is actually being solved.
Seriously, think about it. This is the question that keeps so many marketers and business owners up at night. You spend all this money to get someone's attention, they click your ad, and then nothing. Poof, they're just gone. It's this universal problem, like a massive leak in a bucket you're trying to fill.
So to really get our heads around this and see a pretty radical solution in action, we're going to use real estate as our case study. Why? Because in this industry, the stakes are incredibly high. A lost lead isn't just a missed click. It could be a huge commission, a deal that falls through, or a family that doesn't find their dream home with you.
And that brings us right to the heart of it all, what we call the leaky funnel problem. For years, the playbook for getting leads online has been basically the same. But here's the thing, that old way is completely broken. It's just losing businesses money at every single step. Let's pinpoint exactly where all the leaks are.
Okay, so on the left, you see the classic setup, right? You run an ad, someone clicks it, and they land on this static web page where you beg them for their email or phone number. Seems simple enough, but this is precisely where all the trouble begins. And bam, here is the first catastrophic leak. After all that effort, all that money you spent just to get someone to your page, only about 2 to 5% of people will actually fill out that form. Let that sink in for a second. For every 100 potential customers you attract, you're losing as many as 98 of them right at the front door. It's brutal. But wait, it gets worse. The leak doesn't stop there. For that tiny, tiny fraction of people you actually manage to capture, only about 20% of them will ever open your email or answer your phone call. So the funnel isn't just leaking, it's a sieve from top to bottom. You're losing almost everyone you paid to reach. This isn't just a problem you see on a spreadsheet. It's a very human one. This quote here really captures that frustration. You've got agents feeling totally trapped, burning thousands of dollars a month on leads that go absolutely nowhere, chained to their desks, making call after call to people who just don't want to talk. So what's the alternative to this broken model? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in thinking. Instead of sending people to a cold, static form they have to fill out, what if you invited them into an immediate conversation? And the result of that one little shift is, well, it's staggering. By simply changing where that ad click goes, from a landing page to a Facebook Messenger chat, the conversion rate, meaning the number of people who actually become a subscriber, jumps by 10 times. That's a 10x increase in leads for the exact same ad budget. Incredible.
This new approach also completely fixes that follow-up problem. The difference is just night and day. While email and phone calls are struggling to even get a 20% response, Messenger follow-ups, they have an 85% open rate. And texts are even higher. You're meeting people right where they already are, on platforms they check all day long.
This all leads to a really powerful strategy that's being called omnipresent marketing. The idea is simple. The system automatically captures their contact info across Messenger, email, and phone, and then it follows up across all three. It makes sure you reach your leads wherever they are, which makes it pretty much impossible for anyone to fall through the cracks.
Okay, so we've plugged the leaks in the funnel, but this is where the real magic happens. Let's see how an AI agent takes over from here, basically acting as your tireless 24/7 salesperson to qualify, segment, and even negotiate with new leads.
All right, first up, let's look at a potential buyer. The AI's process is so simple and so effective. It starts by just seamlessly grabbing their contact info. Then, instead of some long, boring form, it has a quick, engaging chat to find out what the buyer is actually looking for, their budget, where they want to live, everything. And then it does something truly brilliant. It segments them into tiers. See, everyone starts as a standard buyer, but just by answering a few quick questions, they get upgraded to a VIP buyer, which gets them early access to new deals. It kind of gamifies the whole process and encourages them to give you more info. And that top tier, preferred partner, that's for repeat customers, making sure they always get white glove service. And the AI does all of this with personality. It uses humor and a friendly, casual tone to build rapport right away. A line like this makes the whole thing feel less like a survey and more like a fun chat with a helpful guide who's on your side. Okay, so qualifying buyers, that's one thing. But what about a much, much trickier conversation? One that's a lot more emotionally charged. Let's watch how this AI handles the awkward dance of negotiating the price of a house with a potential seller. So here's the play-by-play. The AI kicks things off by asking the seller for their price.
the seller does what a lot of sellers do. They throw out a really high anchor, $1 million. Then, the AI gently reframes the entire conversation using hard data and a light touch. And this leads to an amazing result. The seller actually lowers their asking price before a human ever even joins the chat. And this is exactly how it does it. It introduces real data without being confrontational at all. It's not saying, hey, you're wrong. It's saying, here's what the data suggests. It even personifies the agent Pat to create this feeling of a team that's working for the seller. It's really a masterclass in soft negotiation. And here is the absolute secret weapon. The bot uses this exact phrase to just absorb all the friction in the conversation. How can a seller get angry at a robot? They can't. It completely disarms the situation, it takes all the pressure off, and it allows the seller to rethink their price without losing face. It's genius.
So after that whole conversation is done, the human agent gets this perfect summary sent right to them. All the critical info is laid out, super organized. They've got the address, the condition, the seller's motivation, and most importantly, they see the initial asking price and the new AI negotiated price. Now they can step into a conversation that's already warmed up and totally pre-qualified.
And look, while we've been focusing on real estate, this technology isn't just for one industry. The principles we're talking about here have massive implications for any business, really, that needs to turn online interest into actual customers.
And that is the big takeaway. We are really witnessing a huge shift away from static, lifeless lead capture forms and toward dynamic, automated conversations. This isn't just about being more efficient. It's about building better relationships at scale and letting technology handle those initial, often repetitive, or really difficult parts of the sales process.
Which leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? We just saw an AI handle one of the most sensitive and financially significant negotiations in a person's life. So what other complex, awkward, or time-consuming conversations do you think are next in line to be automated? Thanks for tuning in.